Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Tuesday, August 10th. And I did a CarCast just last night, so some of you may not have heard that one. If you think I've missed something, you may want to listen to last night's as well, since I kind of did a quick summary of post-Power of Veto stuff, thinking there would be a whole lot more that went on. And I don't know if a whole lot more really did go on since I did it last night. So I'm not 100% sure I'll give you everything that I would have normally given you with this update. So, as I said, Power Veto was used. Christian is now nominated. Christian did a lot of scrambling last night, made a lot of promises. I did watch him summarize some of the promises he made specifically to the Jokers. And I can't do the whole countdown. Christian, of course, doesn't understand that this was a plan that a lot of people were in on. He thinks that a lot of people were blindsided by Derek X's blindside, when really it wasn't as many people as Christian thinks. Most people knew it was coming. And so he's getting semi-positive feedback from people when he's throwing out the possibilities of them keeping him over Sarah. And that means, like, he has approached the Jokers with his promises, and his promises are very extensive. He promised, and I'm not going to get all this probably, but he promised them that if he were to get head of household, basically it would be their head of household. He would let them make all the calls. He would let them stay in the head of household room. He would let them choose the music, have the snacks, pick the snacks if they got to pick snacks. Just in general, mi casa es su casa, and I don't speak Spanish well, so I just know that's a phrase. My house is your house. And so, I'm sorry, everyone knows that. I don't know why I had to pretend like I was explaining something to one of you. Anyways, they're humoring him and pretending to listen to him, but I don't think they're taking him totally seriously. Although it seems to be causing some consternation with, I think, Tiffany, surprise, surprise, who thinks that the Jokers are lying to her or not being totally honest, or they're keeping some secrets. But it's like, no, this is what he said. This is what he offers. As a matter of fact, last night you had, and this all happened after I recorded yesterday, so I know I didn't talk about this. You had, the feeds were cutting a lot. However, you got summaries, so it really doesn't matter. And Christian summarized to Derek X, this is what I said. I said all of these things, and I said, I did say that the Kings would not make a Joker a have-not this coming week, because the outgoing have-nots, who are the Kings right now this week, have the choice of who becomes, if they follow the same pattern, of who becomes a have-not. And so he said, look, Xavier, I did put your, oh my goodness, wow, something fell off of the truck. Anyways, we're okay. I'm glad that it looks like I was early on in that thing. Something like, it looked like the front part of a car, like plastic, was just across an entire lane, and everyone's hitting their brakes and driving around it, and we're all good. All right, back to what I was saying. This is what you get when you listen to me talk while I drive. So they were summarizing it to Xavier. Christian was summarizing it to Xavier and said, this is what we promised. We promised them nobody be the have-not. That I did make that promise for you, Xavier, but I didn't say anything else. Like, he didn't say, that Xavier would let them pick everything. They just said, that's the one thing I did say, is that you would not make any of them a have-not. And so remember, Xavier didn't know this was coming, but kind of got wind of it towards the end. And he's kind of ticked off because, they picked off, this will be the second king that's getting picked off. And so he's a bit, I don't know if he's saying nervous or a bit annoyed that he's losing allies, but he knew that this was going to happen, right? Because they're not in the cookout, so it's got to happen eventually. And so, and also Christian is a very strong player. So Christian lays all this out for Xavier. He's like, this is what's going to happen. You know, you can make your, you know, people, you can do that, but we're going to need you to. Xavier goes and talks to the Jokers, talks to specifically Azza, and she says, the one thing is, they promised, they only asked that we not nominate Xavier, Christian only asked that we not nominate Alyssa or him. You were not a part of the agreement. Like, they asked for safety, but not for you. And I think that's sticking in the back of Xavier's mind. However, when Xavier cross-quizzed Christian later on last night, they kind of implied they did include them in the deal. So there has to be a little bit of doubt in Xavier's mind that somebody's not telling the truth here, and who is it? And the way Christian's been nonchalant about it, I don't even know for sure if Christian said, you can't, please don't put up me or Alyssa. I don't care if you put up Xavier. I don't think Christian said that. He may have said, I want safety for Alyssa and I, and didn't mention Xavier. It's possible. I don't think it matters. I do right now think that Christian is still getting voted out. But we are seeing, indications to make you think, well, maybe not. Sarah Beth didn't really do any campaigning last night. She kept it all in, and she'll do some maybe tomorrow, but maybe not today. We'll have to see. She isn't happy because no one's really talking a lot of game with her. But that should just tell her that even if she stays, she's on the outside looking in. Finally, one more topic, the punishments. So yeah, Claire has that 52 pickup where she's dressed up like a card, like a Queen of Hearts. She has to throw a deck of cards in the air and then pick it up. It's basically a unitard, but they're giving her a little bit more to do. That's kind of the way I see that. And it's all week. This punishment goes on until after the next power of veto, or maybe right before the next power of veto. So it is a week-long punishment technically, even though they didn't start doing it until today. And then Kylan's punishment also started to take place. Derek X's is over. It was only 24 hours. So Kylan's punishment started, and Kylan's punishment is he has to wear a donkey costume or a jackass costume. And I don't, this is all to do with cards, right? It's suits. Like, technically Derek kind of looked like a jack. Like the jack of, but he was the Lord of the Latrine. And Claire looked like a queen, like it has a queen card, Queen of Hearts. And Kylan is a donkey, but it's a clubs. So it's a club sandwiches he's having to make, which we knew that was happening. So it's a donkey, and it makes club sandwiches. And he has to make like one club sandwich whenever the announcer says it, and he has to make it, and the people that he names are the ones that have to eat it. So it's like 4 people, but he only has to make one sandwich, and he cuts it into 4 pieces, so they're basically eating 1 piece each. The have-nots, if they happen to be named, can have it. And so they initially said you have to make one for everyone, and so he thought he had to make 12 club sandwiches instead of 3 that could be divided up. So he started making enough bacon for 12 sandwiches. It was just like bacon after bacon. I mean, it was at least 2 or 3 pounds of bacon he was trying to cook up, and I just could think, man, this is a oven fire waiting to happen. But he figured it out eventually. The have-nots mostly ate all the club sandwiches because they were allowed to, so everyone just said, you can just have our club sandwiches. So that's how that went. Don't know if their names will be called the rest of the time. I hate the costume stuff. I think it's stupid. I think it's silly. I've already expressed that. So with that, we're going to let it go. I expect lots more talking going on today. I don't know if Christian has a shot to save himself, but he has 2 more days, and it is not going to stop. He is not going to roll over and die. He will keep trying and keep trying and keep trying, and people will keep humoring him because they want him to go quietly, if nothing else. So they may tell him that they may let him think he's going to stay and just be like, yeah, we're still going to vote him out. But they also may start to have doubts, which I expect that too. So should be an interesting couple of days, more interesting than the last 2 weeks for sure. And then we'll get on with the next eviction. All right, folks, that's what I got. I am going to sign off. Hope you have a good day. We'll talk to you tomorrow unless something really amazing happens between now and then. Other than that, again, thanks for listening. Again, a shout out to Iowa Grandma Deb. That's what she goes by when she used to come on my Periscopes. She found my patron site eventually and is now a Patreon or a patron of my stuff. And so a shout out to her. Shout out to everybody else that are my patrons. I'm at 29 now, 29 active patrons. That's pretty cool. Appreciate it. If you would like to be a patron, you of course can go to Patreon, patreon.com/BBGOSSIP. To be clear, this is my Patreon account. This is not the Big Brother Gossip Show Patreon account, because there was one for them. There is one for that. It's just not active right now because we aren't doing Big Brother Gossip shows. It may become active in the future. I don't know what the future holds for our show right now, but I just know we're not doing one this season. But if you want to support me, patreon.com/bbgossip, and you can become a patron, and I'll give you a shout out. Obviously, you hear me thank them all the time. So you will be one of those people if you sign up. All right, that's it. Now I'm gone. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.